Fury's got 2 teams digging for Venom as we speak.
He may want to add 2 or 3 more. Just saying.
You dropped a church on him. I doubt he's going anywhere.
Parker,
Uh-oh.
I have seen that look before.
congratulations on a job well done.
Aw, thanks everyone. I'll remember this moment forever. Which is probably how long it's gonna take me to pay the church's repair bill.
Oh, not to worry. Thankfully, we have a billionaire in the house.
Yeah, at least Stark's credit card is good for something.
Oh, these kids. Real sweethearts. Good plan, Peter. Executed like a champ. Craziest plan I ever saw in my life. Still can't believe he pulled that off.
Yes, and now we must make use of the sample he recovered.
We?
Alright, everyone. I know you all have a lot more important things to do than cheer little old me on. Let's go save the world.
I knew Peter was going to come through.
Just between you and me, I wasn't 100% sure that little plan would pay off out there. I mean, I was pretty sure, but I still had that little voice in the back of my head. If you screw this up, Venom's gonna be snacking on your skull! Even worse, I would've let you down, not to mention the others.
I always knew you would succeed, Peter. Enjoy the praise you received.
Thanks. It's kinda nice to be the man of the hour. Even if it only lasts, an hour. Spent so long trying to keep Spider-Man and Peter Parker separate from each other, I never really had the chance to celebrate victories with, you know...
Friends?
Exactly. Thank you for that, Hunter.
However you look at it, be glad we got the sample.
Now we can get the doc home, keep you less explodey. All around, a good day.
We all owe you a thanks.
I was nothing. Besides, helping the boss man test his top-secret prototype on a demonically possessed alien symbiote-human hybrid has got to look good to the folks at Stark Industries. Would love to get a shot to work for Tony one day. Just wish Spider-Man could submit a resume.
But you are working with Tony, Peter. You are an integral member of the team.
Whoa. Mind just...
Peter?
Nope. Mind's still blown. I just need to sit here and let it all sink in, Hunter. I'll talk to you soon.
Next time Parker comes up with...
Are you all right? You have not said much.
It's hard to explain.
You could try.
The Abbey is just... I don't know how to put this, but it's too quiet.
The Abbey is unnerving for many reasons, but the silence late at night can be overwhelming.
Glad it's not just me. I think I'm homesick. This is the longest I've ever been from the neighborhood, from Gabe. I think it's getting to me. I know I can't go home until this is over, but knowing doesn't make it easier.
Why not bring Gabe to the Abbey?
Nah, I can't put him in danger. If anything happened to him, well, I think Sparky would be the one scared of me. Hey, after all this, if you ever need to get away, you're always welcome to crash at my place.
Are you certain?
Friends are always welcome in my home. Oh, speaking of which, you and Parker will need to fight over who gets the couch and who gets the air mattress. Always great to hang with you, Hunter.
Hunter, I may have found something of interest to you. The means to surmount that obstacle you were so interested in. The secret lies with the symbiote you recovered. If my suspicions are correct, it can be used to disrupt your troublesome ward in the same way that my own wards of protection fell at the Sanctum Sanctorum.
What do I have to do?
Without going off on an overly technical Starkian rant, the alien itself has a very unusual composition. Its seemingly gelatinous structure seems to interfere with the ward's resonance frequency when channeled with the appropriate magic.
You are not going to ask me to retrieve more of the creature, are you?
That shouldn't be necessary. Although a cooperative venom would be invaluable here, I think we can make do with what's left from before. I left a vial of the symbiote on my desk in the forge. If you're intent on removing the ward, take it with you. Discreetly.
Thank you for pursuing this further, Doctor. I doubt anyone else could have made this kind of discovery.
You're too kind, Hunter. Besides, I think our mutual friend has done quite well in guiding you so far.
We have many mutual friends, Doctor.
Oh, I think you know the one. But don't worry, your secret is safe with me.
Well, that is reassuring, Doctor.
And now I should be getting back to my work, but do be careful out there, Hunter, and don't forget about the vial on my desk.
From what I've seen, you could drop 5 churches on Venom and he'd still keep coming. I doubt we've seen the last of him.
You look like you are on the hunt.
It's that scent again. Almost feels familiar somehow. I was hoping you and Charlie might give it another go. You down?
Who would miss a chance to hunt with Blade?
I'm flattered. Now meet me out by that creepy-ass church.
Tell me, Blade, have you found any other unusual creatures during your pursuit of the Barghest?
Seen a few birds hanging around the trading yard, but I haven't decided if they're real yet.
Real? As opposed to...
I'm not sure. The way things operate around here, they could be an illusion, some kind of familiar, a robotic drone.
And what makes you so suspicious?
Just like this thing we're after. They don't smell right. It's like someone made what they thought a bird smelled like, without ever having smelled a bird.
I will have to take your word for it.
Damn thing got away again.
We may need some help.
Not so mysterious now, huh? Oop, we should head back. This place gives me the creeps. And that ain't easy to do. You coming?
I am going to look around a while longer.
Suit yourself. I'll see you back home.
The doctor crafted a strange brew that might bring down the ward.
Maybe he learned something new while snooping around in my library.
If nothing else, he knows about you, Agatha, that you are helping me.
He's a very perceptive man. Perhaps it's for the best. There's no sense in worrying about it now, at any rate. Let's see if you can banish this ward.
These appear to be human bones.
I suspect we've finally found the last resting place of Hiram Shaw. Judging by the looks of this place, he was locked down here for quite some time. I can't say I pity him.
But how would he have ended up like this?
Someone sealed him in and made sure there was no chance of ever escaping.
Someone?
From what we've seen, I believe this was your mother's handiwork. She must have used the Darkhold page taken from Shaw to seal his fate. Literally. And I'm sure that means Sarah was at the very least aware of what Lilith had done.
Shaw should have been held accountable in public.
Perhaps. But neither of us is in a position to judge now.
After what he did to the Coven, I can see the difficulty in having a tempered response.
I can only imagine how angry Lilith and Sarah were when they finally arrived in Salem. In some ways, locking Shaw down here almost seems merciful.
I do not see the moon seal here.
You're right. I don't sense its power here either.
I found highly detailed drawings on Shaw's desk. They were concealed with some kind of magic.
Magic that's no match for you, it seems. Let's give those drawings a closer look.
These drawings...
They're witch warrens, places where a witch might hide using magical means. Judging from the detail he put into these, Shaw must have studied the warrens for a long time before making his move.
He tortured them there.
Yes, I suspect so.
Why?
The witches wouldn't give up the moon seal. Our gift doomed the Salem Coven to an unimaginable fate. These drawings may yet be useful. I will bring them back to the library for further study. Meet me there tomorrow night.
Good girl, Charlie.
Lovecraft, Crowley, Transcendental Magic, Conquest through Technology and Mysticism by Victor Von Doom. Guessing this library doesn't carry the Hardy Boys.
I am unfamiliar with their work.
I brought you here, Hunter, so we might reconnect with your roots. To remind you of who you are, where you came from, and where you can go. And, more importantly, who I believe you can become.
Okay. So where do you see me going, Steve?
Not to sound like a self-help book, Hunter, but sometimes it's more about the journey than the destination. Keep striving to be the best version of the Hunter you can be. If you keep doing the work, nothing will be out of your reach. Except for that row of encyclopedias at the top of that bookshelf. I'm pretty sure you're gonna need a ladder for that.
Seems like you have got a lot on your mind.
You could say that.
Do you need to share?
I always wanted to be good at my job, but now I think it's possible to be so good you're actually terrible.
Explain.
Okay, I really wanted to show off how I could get a sample of Venom's symbiote, right?
And you did.
Right! Yay me! But in getting it, I left poor Eddie trapped under a heap of rubble.
What you did saved lives. Do not forget that.
You're right. I know logically I did the right thing. I came through for the team, but it still doesn't feel right.
I know you feel pity for your friend Eddie, but he is no longer a man. He is a monster.
No, he was a man, and the symbiote was an alien. But Lilith turned them both into demons, and no one deserves that fate. Eddie Brock may be troubled, sure, we all are. I guess that's why I can't shake the feeling that there's more I could have done.
Like digging him out from the rubble?
No, I mean helping him turn his life around, the way real heroes are supposed to.
Who knows? Maybe you will someday.
Yeah, big emphasis on maybe. If only Tony or Strange invented some kind of time machine, I could go back and keep Eddie from going down this path.
Stranger things have happened.
Thanks for the chat, Hunter. I've got a lot to think about. If anyone needs me, I'll just be here, sighing deeply.
Or is it the Hunter?
How is the sample analysis going?
Oh, you mean the vial of demonic alien goo Peter took out of poor Eddie. That sample analysis?
That is the one.
In a word, gross. But a fascinating kind of gross. This symbiote exists as a whole at the molecular level. Every atom of it is a self-sustaining, slimy little entity in and of itself. Yet when the molecules bond, they undergo a change state that can only be described as something out of abstract expressionism, and I can see your eyes glazing over right now.
I am sure this makes sense to you, but try to remember I am not from this time. I am still getting used to the idea of lights that turn on when you flip a switch.
Right. I will slow down a bit, skip the science babble, and get right to the point. I think we can use Venom's slime sample as the basis of a suit.
Like a Venom suit?
No, not like Venom. No symbiosis. It would exist as an anti-symbiote, to protect you the next time you two meet. Think of it as a kind of armor. Strange and I are working on a design right now. Give me 24 hours, and I think you'll be very pleased.
I did not think church was your style, Daywalker.
Actually, it's Eric. Eric Brooks from Harlem.
Are we finally on first-name basis now?
You earned it. The last person I let call me that was my mentor.
The name is quite fetching. Like the name of a mopey, tortured, woe-is-me vampire in one of those dark romance novels you like to read. The one who cannot bring himself to bite anyone, especially the woman he fancies. Oh my god! That is you! Why did I not see that before?
Don't make me bite you, Hunter.
Oh no! Do not kill me, Eric the vampire. I am so scared.
I shouldn't have told you.
Too late. Now I know all your secrets.
Not by a long shot. Now my mentor, he knew everything.
You had a mentor?
I wasn't born this cool. Someone had to teach me. His name was Jamal Afari, a vampire hunter. He gave me the name Blade. He used to take me to church on Sundays when I was a kid. Taught me right from wrong.
Sounds a lot like my childhood with Caretaker, if you could call it a childhood. Except for the church-going part. She was more interested in taking me to the armory.
At least she wanted to make sure you were prepared for the kind of life you were destined to live. He could have killed me, you know. And he would have been within his rights to put me down too. But he didn't. Jamal was the first person to look past the fangs and see my humanity. Trained me to control my darkness so I could become the vampire hunter I am today. I guess what I'm saying is, you deserve that same benefit of doubt. You may be a demon child, but I see the human in you winning.
I would like to extend the same sentiment to you, as a friend.
I don't need it, but I'll take it. It's good to have someone keep you in check.
So what happened to this Jamal Afari? Do you still keep in touch?
No, I killed him.
Why? What happened?
He asked too many questions. Just kidding. You keep showing me I can trust you, and maybe I'll tell you the whole story someday. But for now, I just want to let you know you're not all bad, Hunter. Just half bad, and that's good enough for me.
Hey, can I ask a favor?
We could go a few rounds. I can see you've earned your reputation.
No, absolutely not. You go too far, Nico. Last time you tried to save Wanda, you almost got us all killed. I will not let you risk the safety of this abbey again.
Listen to yourself. I think I have a way of purifying Lilith's corruption, a way of bringing back both Wanda and Banner, and your response is to shut me down.
I told you time and time again, there is no way of removing corruption.
Just because you failed and never found a way of doing it doesn't mean I can't. What are you so afraid of? That I'll actually succeed?
No, I'm afraid you're becoming just like Wanda.
Oh, I see how it is. You always hated her, and now you're gonna turn that hate onto me too.
That's not what I meant. Nico, wait. Let me explain.
I don't need your explanation. I need you to stay out of my way.
You have any ideas on how to keep this team from unraveling?
Nico is certainly as daring as Caretaker is cautious. Attempting to remove Lilith's corruption is not a magical endeavor for the faint of heart.
Is it even possible to remove it?
I'm not sure, actually. It's something I should do a little research on. But if it is, one thing is for sure. All magic has its price. The question is, are you willing to pay it to help get Wanda back?
I am not so much concerned with what toll this magic could take on me, but on Nico. I do not want to see her fall.
But you should be concerned with how this will affect you. I know I am. You are more vulnerable than you know. The crack in your collar may be hardly noticeable to the naked eye, but it's a significant crack in your energetic armor. A spiritual vulnerability that cannot be overlooked or understated. A vulnerability she will exploit. If you choose to defy Sarah and help Nico remove Lilith's hold on Wanda, it might be at your own peril.
Be assured, Agatha, I have no intention of unnecessarily risking myself or anyone else in this abbey.
You always protected others from the powers of darkness, even if it was your own mother. Something I loved about you when I was alive, and still love about you now that I'm gone. Whatever happens, Hunter, just remember to keep yourself intact. We can't take on Lilith without you.
Have you learned anything?
These drawings are definitely of locations around the Abbey. As far as how this helps us find the Salem Coven's moon seal, I'm at a loss. Let's discuss this again tonight, after I've had more time to think. Need something, dear?
What can you tell me about Chthon?
One of the first Elder Gods, Chthon is said to have existed for tens of millions of years, well before the dawn of humanity on Earth. Believe it or not, he wasn't always the bastion of evil that we know today.
This story sounds familiar.
As the legend goes, the downfall of the old gods was actually brought upon by Chthon's brother Set, who found that by consuming his siblings, he could gain their power. After Set consumed Hypus, Chthon followed suit with the others, and in this way, many of the first gods also became the first demons.
And how did he come to be imprisoned on Earth?
In the same way Hydra has worked to restore Lilith, various cultists of the past sought to revive Chthon to wield his power. When Chthon failed to cooperate, these same cultists did the only thing they could. They locked him away again.
What do you know about Transia?
Transia is your ancestral homeland, Hunter. The birthplace of Lilith and Caretaker. It has always been a sort of magical junction, drawing in every type of occultist, sorcerer, and even the occasional elder god. The Abbey grounds still behave in much the same way, even after all this time.
And Wundagore?
Wundagore Mountain has always played a prominent role in whatever scheme was underway. Chthon himself is said to have created the Darkhold, deep within the caverns of the mountain.
What was Caretaker like when she was younger?
I'm sure it's difficult to remember now, but Sarah wasn't always the steadfast contrarian. In our younger days, she was much more enthusiastic about dashing off to save the day, not unlike some of our younger allies among the Suns.
That does not sound like the Caretaker we know and love.
Keep in mind, Hunter, Sarah has faced a great deal of loss in her time here. Everyone she ever cared about, in fact. I would say she's earned the right to be disagreeable, at the very least. She is a very strong woman. I'm not sure I would have held up as well given the same circumstances.
Who were the Knights of Wundagore?
Another mysterious group of heroes in a world full of mysterious groups. Of course, I'm no expert on Transian history. I do know that the Knights of Wundagore were formed as a response to the growing threat of Chthon's influence near the mountain.
What exactly did they do?
Hydra was hardly the first to dabble in chthonic schemes. Many have tried and failed to awaken the Dark God. Over the centuries, the Knights fought alongside a number of allies who stood against the various crazed worshippers of Chthon.
You were there? At the witch trials?
Not initially, no. If I had been, I like to think I could have stopped them, before it was too late. I sensed something was wrong, and when the witches cried out in distress, I came to Salem as quickly as I could.
But Shaw had already committed his crimes against them?
Yes. It was a devastating discovery. And for the longest time, I blamed myself.
But you see now it was not your fault.
I've come to understand that we must accept the past and move on. But that doesn't mean I won't always carry that pain with me.
I know that feeling all too well.
I know. And I wish you didn't, dear. I really do. Until we speak again.
Have you learned anything?
These drawings are definitely of locations around the Abbey. As far as how this helps us find the Salem Coven's moon seal, I'm at a loss. Let's discuss this again tonight, after I've had more time to think.
I'm at my wit's end, Hunter. Nico is hell-bent on finding some spell in Wanda's grimoire to remove Lilith's hold on our unfortunate friends. And I can't seem to dissuade her from putting our lives in danger again. You would think she would have learned her lesson with that magic mirror trick she pulled, but now she's just doubling down on darkness. What do you think I should do about her? Because I am at a complete loss.
She is acting out because she is still grieving the loss of Wanda. She needs to heal. She needs to know you care.
If we survive Lilith's assault on this world, then there'll be plenty of time to talk about our feelings on a psychotherapist's couch. Until then, she must learn to cope, as we all must. Nico is a talented witch, no doubt, but if she persists on this trajectory, she will suffer the same fate as Wanda. Perhaps you can talk her down. She's more likely to listen to you than me. Thanks, Hunter.
Let me guess. You came out here to see if I'm okay.
Are you okay, Nico?
No, I won't be okay until we get Wanda back, but you already know that. I just wish Caretaker trusted me more. I mean, I'm not a kid, you know? I'm a ridiculously experienced witch with ridiculously amazing powers. She should be letting me use my talents to help the team, but instead all she does is doubt my ability to do anything.
You have broken Caretaker's trust one too many times. Can you really fault her for not trusting you again?
Well, I've lost trust in her too, okay? When Wanda fell, I was stupid and trusted her to do the right thing and at least try to get her back, but no. She took it as an opportunity to throw Wanda under the bus for Agatha's death. All I know is this. I'm gonna do whatever it takes to get her back.
And when Caretaker tries to stop you?
She can get out of the way. Or get run over. Now excuse me, I've got a free Wanda spell to craft.
We've seen what those rift charges can do. We can't allow Hydra to detonate them here. Just focus on destroying the charges. Hydra has enough warm bodies to overwhelm you eventually.
Consider it done.
Watch my back! Remember that.
Just like old times.
I'm on. That will do.
Someone order a knuckle sandwich?
I am impressed.
move. Hydra's in control of the situation.
You're
Looks like they have help.
Midnight Suns. Assemble.
Good work.
Wow, I'm glad you're on our side. I think you got him. Proceeding as planned.
Finally, it's my turn.
For a high
We are not done yet.
Don't waste the opportunity.
What are you waiting for?
Roger that.
Very effective.
I'm going in. I probably beat up your grandfather back in the day, too.
Let us see if they have an answer for this.
More than enough.
That's some move.
The enemy has the upper hand. Let's see how tough you are. Time for the real thing.
They're not willing to accept defeat.
We have the upper hand, for now.
As they say, it gets the job done.
Let's settle this.
Whatever works for you.
That's one charge down. Yes.
Hope you're ready. Awaiting reinforcements.
I can feel her corruption spreading. Hell that.
Engaging! They're not going to like this.
Sensors aren't picking up anything surprising. I'll cut you back.
It is good to be back in the fight. Your time has come. Weak, even for Hydra. By my...
Guess I picked the right partner.
You have earned it. You were too weak for this fight.
Is everyone ready for a good fight?
Target.
Leave some for the rest of us.
they say, it gets the job done.
Another Hydra operation foiled. I'll never get tired of hearing that.